And action. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the MVP Show, the Minimal Viable Production with your host, this guy, Jesse Wolfe. I'm the only one that keeps showing up every single week, so I'll still be your host. They haven't fired me yet. I want to first and foremost wish everybody a wonderful, happy 4th of July. It's Monday morning. To those of you that follow and listen as soon as these post. And technically it's Sunday night when I'm filming this. So I hope you had a wonderful and safe holiday weekend. Working the best with what we got. I know down here in Orlando, it rained almost the whole weekend. But that's okay. You know, we still took some time. You know, got to have a nice little small, just me and my girlfriend basically, barbecue and enjoyed our weekend, you know. So I hope you did too. I hope you had some R&R and got to see maybe some family. And we're back at it. It's another week. So very exciting thing. I want to keep today's episode very punctual, very to the point. I have something I want to talk about as always. Let's be honest. I always have something I want to talk about. Hence why I now have a podcast. So let's talk about being scared. Okay, let's just get right into it. Let's talk about being scared. I came across a quote that I love, and I completely, am obsessed with quotes, from all different genres, if you will, but especially business quotes, obviously. And one of these quotes that I hold close to myself is Henry Ford. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goals. Henry Ford is an incredible entrepreneur, as we all know. He gave us basically the automobile, as we know, and then the mass production of the automobile. So, great guy. I'm sure, most of you are familiar with Henry Ford. But one more quote that I really am just obsessed with, and I came across it over the weekend, and it really hit me hard for several reasons, and I'll explain why in a second. But the quote goes, okay, fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. Okay, so for those of you that are listening to this in your car, I want to say this one more time. Fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. Okay, let's talk about that. Everybody that has this grand dream of being an entrepreneur is terrified of failure. Most of us entrepreneurs are terrified of failure. Even myself, where I've been so conditioned at this point in time from doing, right, and failing that, yeah, I'm still not excited about failing, but I embrace it. And I'll explain more about that in a second. But the fear of failing will absolutely paralyze so many people, and I see it so often. And I've had the absolute privilege over the last couple months during, Rona, if you will, to watch so many small new businesses launch. And if you follow me on Instagram, which I would greatly appreciate if you do, Real Jesse Wolfe, Instagram, obviously follow me on YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, you will see that Friday I posted about startups that have come out of Rona that I personally know. One is a friend started a honey root company, which is basically a medicinal type honey that you would take to help build your immune system. What a genius idea during a time when we need the strongest immune systems. Another one is a photography business, specializing in food photography. She's a food blogger. That makes total sense. And the third one hits really close to home. So much, in fact, it's my home. My girlfriend started a peach cobbler business. So you guys should go follow my Instagram, check those out, give all three new businesses a follow. And something very special about those businesses are they're all three female owned. I think that's really cool. I think we need more women entrepreneurs in this world. Everybody that has ever dreamed of owning a business should be biting at the chomp right now to start something. We have more free time than ever before. And by free time, I don't mean paid time off. I mean forced time. we're forced to be at home. We're forced to be, in one place. So, we have that opportunity to either sit there and watch Netflix or something like that, or use it wisely. And I'm starting to see a lot of people that used it very wisely, and their businesses are launching and they're getting traction and success. And it's absolutely crazy. So please, again, check out that Instagram post and go support those 3 fantastic women who have launched pretty cool businesses out of COVID. And so let's talk about this. Fear kills more businesses than failure ever will. It's that start. It's that initial fear of, what if it doesn't work? What if it's a dumb idea? What if people laugh at me? What if? There's a million what ifs, okay? And you can't let those get in your head. You can't let those get in your way. I don't know how else to say that. You just can't. It's not an option. In fact, let's flip the cat backwards. Let's get serious here. Those will absolutely paralyze you in so many aspects in life. You overthink. We've talked about this, you let people's opinions stop you from chasing your dreams. Let me give you a harsh reality. People and their opinions do not pay your bills. Okay? They do not. They don't. Someone's negative opinion doesn't pay that car sitting in the parking lot. Doesn't pay your rent. Doesn't pay for your college. Doesn't pay for your dinner out on Friday night. It does nothing because you stress and anxiety and stop you from achieving whatever the F you want on this planet. That's all it does. That's all people's opinions do. They stop you from achieving anything you want on this planet. That's all they do. So if you want to really weigh someone's opinion, that's what you're going to get out of it. That's the result. Please prove me wrong. Please tell me how someone's opinion has benefited your life in such a great outcome that you're thankful for their opinion. I don't know too many. Maybe you're wrong. It's late at night. I could be. And I'm okay with that. I'll admit I'm wrong. But this is where I'm at right now. I don't think they do. So what are you afraid of? Right? Are you afraid of losing all your money? Maybe. But you shouldn't put all your money into it to begin with. And we'll talk about that. Are you afraid of ridicule from your peers? Another quote I absolutely adore is, people doing more than you will never cut you down. What that translates to, people crushing it, grinding, becoming successful entrepreneurs or successful at whatever they do in life will never cut down somebody else trying to follow in that same footstep. In fact, they usually tend to support you. Now, the people that are sitting on the couch on their keyboards, being keyboard warriors, they will cut you down. And a lot of that stems from jealousy and hate and anger that they don't have the courage to do what you're doing. That's what that is. People envy other people like yourselves that even come up with ideas like this, that even think outside the box enough to go, maybe I'll start a business like this. So the problem is, millions of dollars get buried every single year. And what that means is, so many $1 million ideas go away when people pass away, when they move on, because their dreams and their aspirations of things that they wanted to do, but they were too afraid to do for several myriad of reasons, right? We get one life at this, guys and gals. You cannot let the fear of other people's opinions get in your way. So how do we overcome some of these things? One, we can mitigate our risk. And we've talked about this. If you want to start an idea, right? Let's go back to the cookie idea, right? You are not going to take all your dollars out of the bank and buy a brick and mortar business. Okay? You're going to start small. And actually, let's use a great example locally. Somebody I really look up to. Jeff's Bagel Run. Jeff is awesome. He's a local guy. Came down here from upstate, I believe. Starts making bagels recently in the last 6 months because he couldn't find a good New York bagel. Did Jeff run out and open up a brick and mortar shop and go from there? Did he spend hundreds of thousands of dollars launching this idea? Did he quit his job to do this? No. The answer is no to all that. In fact, Jeff had his job, worked his job, and on the weekends would basically sell bagels out of his house using Instagram at first, DM me for an order. He would get the orders. He used the cottage law rule down here in Florida, which most states have. He made a couple, dozens to start, if you will. And then he delivered them the next day. That's how it goes, right? So now he's killing it, and he's growing rapidly, and he's got a mass following. And guess what's going to happen? If now Jeff decides he wants to move into a brick and mortar store, that fan base, that tribe of 1,000 that he's already created is going to simply follow him right into that brick and mortar store, creating a successful business right out of the gate the minute that front door opens. Okay. And now he has a great revenue stream. And unfortunately, due to Rona, I believe, and I want to get Jeff on here. So Jeff, if I'm misspeaking, I apologize, but I got to get Jeff on here to talk about this because he's such a great example of the MVP process. But now Jeff has revenue coming in. And unfortunately, due to Rona, I believe Jeff was furloughed and he isn't going back. So here he is, right? The business is growing. It's booming. And who knows, maybe in the next year, Jeff will be in a storefront slinging bagels 7 days a week, 365 days a year, living the dream he originally wanted to. So he didn't let fear get in his way. He didn't care what other people thought. He just started making bagels out of his house and asking a few people on Instagram, hey, you guys want to buy some of my bagels? They're homemade. They're from scratch. And people did it. They bought the crap out of them. So you got to understand something. You, right, are going to go through stuff with or without a business idea. Let's be honest, the internet's not the friendliest place sometimes, right? People get picked on and bullied and ridiculed and whatever. People pass judgment for everything on the internet. You could simply post, you drive a Ford and someone's telling you, I'd rather drive a Chevy, Ford's a crap. Okay? Are you going to not buy a Ford? No, you're probably going to buy a Ford because you like that car or truck. Okay? This is the same thing. Are you really going to not chase your dream because here's somebody saying you can't do it? Or you're afraid that somebody's going to go, ha, 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 I told you so? What kind of support is that? And then let's take this one step further. Those people in your life that you're so afraid of getting ridiculed by, you might want to stop right now and do a friend audit. Are these good people? I don't know. I'll let you decide. I just had to have this conversation with you guys tonight because, personally, I've seen 3 businesses launch, in the last couple weeks coming off of the quote unquote forced free time, if you will, from the whole Rona situation. I've watched a few other businesses, one of which is a friend's cookie company, one of which is Jeff's Bagel Run, and a few other Orlando-based companies take off during this time because they put the pedal to the metal once their idea had gotten out of the gates. And I've seen other companies that have been established struggle, and I've seen a bunch of companies thrive. And it's incredible to see how everyone's handling this adversity right now. So for those of you out there that keep putting it off for another week, another month, another 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, stop. And really audit, are you holding yourself back or is there something in your way? Or are you putting something in the way to stall? I want you to think about that because a lot of us get caught up in what other people think and the fear of failing. And the biggest fear of failing usually doesn't involve money, right? I just gave you an example of how Jeff would hardly lose any money theoretically if his bagels stopped selling tomorrow, okay? The fear comes a lot of times from up here. And a lot of times it comes from what we are so afraid of, which is other people's opinions. And I'm not going to stand for that anymore. I stopped a long time ago, personally. But I'm also not going to stand for it for you guys at all. So, with that being said, let's take a victory sip here out of that sweet MVP mug. It's going to be a kick-ass week, guys. We're coming into basically the first full week of July. That means we are halfway through the year of 2020. It is the second half. What are you going to do with the rest of 2020? It's going to be an epic year. I want you guys to really sit there and think about your fear of failure and how that's really keeping you from holding yourself back and how to overcome that. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, you know where to find me. Smash that subscribe button for me down there. Give me a like on this if you liked what I had to talk about. Give me a dislike if you didn't. And if you have any comments, feel free to DM me. I'd love to talk it out with you guys, help you out, give you some advice, let you know how I overcome things like this constantly. And I love you very much. Thanks again for following us along, and we will see you next week on another episode of the MVP Show with this guy.